Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, and still the biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dares say. A bit like the people saying it's an assassination. What I did to, ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths, the Beatles of boxing. We all remember that one, don't we? What we were told, and now that it's all over for the Smiths, who have they beat? Who have they beat for all the hype? It's a bit like Tyson Fury, isn't it, really? 4 wins over champions. And two over Wilder, Vladimir pushing 40, and Steve Cunningham, an old man cruiserweight, stepping up life and death. That's it. Everybody got carried away. These boxers and these promoters and managers, very cunning. They've let social media do their job for them. All they have to do is have a word in certain people's ear holes and get stuck up their arseholes, and they will do the business for them. If you don't believe me, look at the waffle that they come out with on Talk Sport. But we'll deal with that later when I start dropping those ones out. Right. Sad news. Mike McCallum passed away. Mike McCallum, all-time great. I believe Errol Bomber Graham beat him. He lost a split decision by half a point or something like that. I believe Bomber Graham beat him, but very, very, very tough man, Mike McCallum, multi-weight world champion, and one of James Toney's hardest fights at side of Sanderline Williams. So condolences to Mike McCallum's family. The Stinkinator debate, aka Joseph Parker. People saying I bought into all this. He's a bogeyman and that. Look, he's a bogeyman because he can't get a fight because he's doing all right, isn't he? But people are getting a little bit carried away with it now. Yeah, I said he's a bit of a bogeyman to certain people, but I don't think he'd be a bogeyman to Usyk or Fury. And Joshua's already beat him, so no. But uh, since Slow Joe, the Juggernaut, flogged him, he's beat Jack Massey, a cruiserweight, on points. Opilu, who was a doorman. Simon Keane, a banker, or part-time banker. Wilder, a shot old fighter. And Zhang, who's 43 next, the big fat Chinaman. And then we've got Martin Bakole. They got him out at Congo, didn't they? 4 planes to Saudi, 22 and a half stone. Fat man. Do you know what I mean? And he folded like a deck chair. Will cut down like cheddar cheese very quickly. Uh, so since Juggernaut Joe or Slow Joe done him, who has he beat? Who is on that record? Or you'd say, wow, would Moses Atome beat these guys? Jack Massey, Opie Lewis, Simon Keane, Wilder and Zhang and Bakole. Would Jack Massey, would Moses Atoma beat those guys? Would he? Of course he beat them. Moses Atoma had beat them. Usyk could beat all them. Fury had beat all them. Don't know about Joshua, but it is what it is. So that's my opinion on Parker. Is he a bogeyman? Yeah, to guys ranked about 15, 10 and 15. I don't think the top guys are that bothered about him. Are people getting carried away with this Andy Lee? Go to Andy Lee, the new Dark Lord. No, Andy Lee's a former world champion. He knows his stuff, doesn't he? But he talks a good game, doesn't he? Like all travellers. So it is what it is. So there you go. Dean White. I've decided to put Dean White on the thumbnail. Where is Dean White? Where's he gone? He's gone missing, hasn't he? So I miss Dean White. Dean, I miss you. Give me a call. You get my number off anybody. Pop, pop, bang. I think Dean White's amazing. I've just been watching his interview with Super Bean on Sky back in the day when Eddie broke Saudi and everybody flew over on a plane, didn't they? And Dean White decided to start telling stories about how he saved 438 people on an aeroplane 30,000 feet up. The woman got off the plane, or man, or whoever it were. I think it were a man. It were a woman on Chris Smedley's plane. Yeah, the man got off the plane in Saudi, walked straight through customs. So it couldn't have been that serious, Dean. In other words, you are not Wesley Snipes, passenger 57 on a plane. You are not a superhero. Unlike Bean, Super Bean, the superhero who beat cancer, with 29 years at Sky and they won't even give him his flowers. Not even so much as a good luck message or a well done after over 29 years at the helm of the ship. Not so much as a thank you. And he's still in boxing, but he wanted to try different things. Still ended up in boxing. So it is what it is. And that's what happens when you peddle lies. Isn't it, Dean White? Isn't it, Sam Jones? Joe Joyce, the juggernaut, his bone density is 6 times stronger. 6 times stronger than Jeff Capes and Eddie Halls. Oh my God. Unbelievable, isn't it? But what can you do? Boxing's the Wild Wild West. It's full of liars, vagabonds, charlatans. Off with their heads. Funny though. Not as funny as Bricktop and in the blue corner from Billericay, the 7-0 Iceman. 5 by way of Eddie Hills. Hills. And Bricktop, eh? Not as funny as those two swapping spit in the shower, all pretending to be fake mates to lift Turkey's leg. Oh my God, you couldn't make it up. What, boxing promoters, Porky? Influencing YouTubers and people in the media to get the point across. None more so than Simon Jordan with the Rhino on. Giving the Rhino 48 minutes. Can I get that 48 minutes back, Simon? Hey? Well, this is what we're hearing on the grapevine. Rhino versus Wilder. Wilder, we're all for fighting Fisher. And it were all a done deal, apparently. Slipping the White Rhino, it's a different kettle of fish, so I don't know if that fight will happen, but I hope it does, because David will get paid. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about getting paid. But for all the hype, is this where we're at in boxing? The Rhino, right, has beat a novice boxer, 25-year-old novice with 12 fights. He's beat him by knockout. He used to play rugby, Elmer Fudd, but the Rhino knocked him out. Well done. But is that where we're at now? 48-minute sit-downs like world champions and blah de blah. Is that where boxing is now? You beat a novice, and because you got a bit of a social media following, you get that kind of free gratis. I'm not so sure, but that's boxing in 2025. It's like the mugging David off, still making out he's like a gimmick, because if he goes in with Wilder and he gets his head took off, Eddie will be able to sell the Joshua fight against Wilder then, won't he? And use Dave as the fall guy. So I hope he's going to pay Dave. That's all, because I don't think Wilder's actually 100% shot yet. He could still pull trigger against somebody like the White Rhino. I can assure you of that. Because he's there to be hit, isn't he? But Rhino's going to want at least a mil for that, isn't he? At least 1 million. You know what I mean? They're all going to want to dine out on that one. So it is what it is, I'm afraid, boys and girls. It is what it is. It's the wild, wild west. But what are we supposed to do? Not say a word? Are we supposed to just let it all crack on? I don't know. I hope Josh Kelly wins Friday on a sewer rat show. But what I want to know is this. Is Paul Smith, aka Smigger Smigger's Titties, is he having his name changed? Porky? Yes, he is. I've now changed Paul Smith's name from the Titty Man to just plain old Smithy. Paul Smith, aka Smithy. Jack of all trades, master of none. There you go. Paul Smith. Oh my God. It is what it is. Lion bars in the fridge. Hop, hop, bang. I think that's about it, really. That's about it, really. Still no news on Anthony Joshua's next opponent. Will Wardley beat Unny? Justice Unny? Yeah, I've knocked him out. But no, there for Joshua. They're waiting for Fury, aren't they? All they want an easy one. They'd love to put Joshua in with Rhino, wouldn't they? They'd love to do that. So they'll have to get Rhino a win. But great time to be a boxer in it now. You don't have to be any good. Just put a few tweets out there and get yourself out there. But we want to see fighters getting proper money and getting paid. That's what we want. Okay, okay. That's about it. Well, peace out. Booyaka. Pop, pop, bang.